Hi, everyone. I'm Alexandra Harper, founder of Women of Culture, and I am here with Minna Taylor, the founder of Energize Your Voice, an NYC-based communication coaching company. And we're going to be talking about creativity, confidence, and the Art of Empowerment workshop coming up on January 27th, where Minna will be teaching. So thanks so much for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm really excited.
Okay, awesome. So can you just tell us a little bit about how you got started as a communications coach and how you use your background in acting in your work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I got started as a communication coach sort of by accident. I trained as an actor. I have my master's degree in acting with a specialty in speech and vocal production. And when I got out of graduate school, I got my first job teaching in the corporate sector. I was teaching accent reduction to corporate clients. And then slowly they started to ask me to do more presentation coaching and expanding in terms of what I was there to facilitate for them. But really how I utilize my acting training to support all of the things that I do. I tell people all acting is speaking your truth with objective.
Right.
And the only way that it differs from being a human to being an actor is that as an actor, you'll typically have a script to do that. And as a human, you won't have a script, which is also why we use improvisation as a foundation for our trainings. So we look at speaking your truth, doing it with a sense of objective and great strategy, how to show up authentically within that. And then how to have a sense of immediacy so it feels extemporaneous, alive, fun, and immediate.
Yeah, awesome. That's so cool. So what lessons have you learned from improv or acting or both?
I think the biggest lesson I learned is the biggest gift you can give yourself is to commit fully to whatever it is that you're doing. And within that, there are a few risks you're taking. So you're daring to fail. You're risking your ego potentially of looking foolish, saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing, falling flat on your face. But people are always going to respond to you in a very acute way, which will give you all the information you need to move forward differently with greater strategy the next time if you fully commit to what it is that you're doing, right? So walk in the room like you mean it. Go into the meeting like you mean it. Insert your voice in a meeting, insert it like you mean it. Really stand behind what it is that you say and risk the failure.
Right. Oh, very cool. So can you tell me a little bit about the Confidence Advantage workshop that you'll be teaching at the Art of Empowerment on the 27th?
Yeah, I love this training. It's a really simple modification of the trainings that we'll generally do for corporations. Really what we're looking at is we're taking, again, improvisation as a foundation for play. I always like to tell people, think about the moments when you have those really great ideas or when you feel just totally immersed in the moment and how much joy that brings you. So we use improv as a tool to bring us back to that experience and also to reinforce the notion that this is possible for you consistently, either in a personal or professional context. You can feel this at ease. You can feel this playful. You can feel this curious and immediate and responsive. So we're going to use improv games to explore that. We're also going to do a really simple vocal exercise. It's called the 4-point vocal shakeout to get you to feel fully expressive in body, fully expressive in voice, and fully expressive in intention. I think all too often, especially women and men, honestly, diminish their full expression. And how often do you really just get to like let it out? So we're gonna play. It's a little teaser, but we're gonna play around with some of that on the 27th. Yeah.
Awesome. How can participating in this workshop help the participants, women in particular, boost their confidence and creativity in their lives?
Let's talk about the word confidence quickly.
Yeah.
I think this is a word that, although it has a really clear definition, means something different to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way that I like to define confidence is presence.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence doesn't mean perfect. Confidence doesn't mean being the best,
Right.
right? So confidence really means, again, standing behind what it is that you're saying and committing to it fully
Mm-hmm.
without that sense of self-judgment in the background going, don't mess this up, don't mess this up, right? It's sort of like, well, I may mess it up, but like, here we go.
Right.
So that to me is really what confidence is. And what we're looking at here is building muscle memory around that experience.
Mm-hmm.
So engaging in these exercises will give people the opportunity to play around with what happens if I commit to it fully and risk failing and looking silly.
Right.
So they'll get a little insight into the potential of that experience, and also knowing you didn't die, no one's going to leave bleeding.
Right.
And so to take that and say, how can I apply this in micro ways consistently in the rest of my life?
Right. Okay. Very cool. What would you say to someone, even like myself, who is more shy, introvert, like maybe not super comfortable with public speaking or like, improv, like, what's that? It sounds like very intimidating. Like, what would you say to them?
So I love that you brought that up. When I am teaching, I am very expressive. I tell people, wear your own hat of enthusiasm. So mine is like, a top hat with like feathers and some sparkles. Maybe yours is just like a nice little like bow around the neck, right? Like, who knows? So wear your own hat of enthusiasm. What that really means is show up in the way that feels authentic to you, but
Yeah.
again, show up fully. So if improv can feel really intimidating, that doesn't mean you need to throw yourself in there.
Right.
All that means is stay present, engage fully in active listening,
Mm-hmm.
leave yourself open to be immediately responsive and impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you have to activate in a way that is outside of yourself,
Right.
but it is challenging you, pushing you outside of your comfort zone potentially, to leave yourself open to receive and respond in a way that may be slightly different than you're accustomed to.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm super excited because I took one of your workshops like a while ago now, and I still remember it, and it was so powerful and so helpful to me. So I'm super excited to participate again. I know everyone's going to get so much out of it. So the last question is, if you would have to share one truth about women and their creative natures, what would you say?
I would say that one truth about women's creative nature is that we are constantly problem solving.
Yeah.
And when I think about creativity, I really think about curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we think about creativity as something that's expressive of an artistic impulse.
Yep.
But creativity comes in science and engineering and administration. So how can we think creatively? How can we allow ourselves to move outside of rigid guidelines to think what happens if I push the boundaries just slightly?
Yeah.
And play around with what's possible directly outside of what the explicit expectations are, and giving yourself permission to do that.
Right.
I tell people, you never have to ask permission to step into your power.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that's how we associate it. Women especially wait for that permission.
Right.
And creativity to me is giving yourself that permission to say what is possible if.
Right. Yeah, I love that. That's so cool. So we're definitely going to be playing with that on the 27th. So if you guys want to experience Minna's work for yourself, come to the Art of Empowerment on January 27th. And you can get tickets at womenofculture.org/artsempower. And thank you so much for your time today. It was great speaking with you.
No, this is awesome. I'm really, really excited. I hope everyone comes and has a beautiful day.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, bye.